It's early morning on our dairy farm in Western England. I live here with my parents, sisters, aunt and uncle, and grandparents. Our families all live in different houses on the farm, which is pretty old. Part of our house is over 400 years old. My name is Jessica, and I'm 9 years old. When I wake up at 6 o'clock, I like to read till it's time to get ready for school. Dad and Grandpa are already bringing the cows from the field to the barn to be milked. It's my grandpa and uncle's turn to milk, along with one of the men they hired to help them. Our family owns some of our land, and we rent the rest from Prince Charles, who will be the next King of England. My grandparents have pictures of the time Prince Charles came to our farm to see how things were going. We milk 200 cows in early morning and then again in late afternoon. We clean the cow's udder where the milking machine is attached. We feed each cow while she's being milked, which takes about 5 minutes. Each cow has a metal tag that's registered with the government, sort of like a passport, so she can be traced, and so we can keep a record of how much milk she produces. Dad says each cow gives about 10 gallons of milk a day. I figured that would fill about 75 bathtubs in a year. Dad's feeding the baby cows, or calves. They're only a few days old, and Dad likes to keep them in the barn to be sure they're eating and are healthy. When they're 2 weeks old, Dad starts giving them grain to eat. Dad's loading hay for calves that were born 3 months ago. They're old enough to be outside, and soon they can be let out in the field with the other cattle. One worker takes care of any chemicals we use to control weeds or disease on the farm. He has to know a lot to handle the chemicals safely. We have about 300 cattle that are still too young to be milked. Dad visits the fields every day to count them and to make sure they're okay. If they're lying down, he wants them to stand up so he can see they're not sick or hurt. Our uncle's dog is good at telling cows what to do. My parents say that even though the government helps support farms in England, it's still hard to make enough money to raise a family. So most mornings before we're up, Mom does bookkeeping for her dad, who's also a farmer.
Right, you get with Cece.
We're washing our hands before we have breakfast at about 7:30. That's me, Jessica. That's my sister Cecilia. We call her Cece. She's 7. And that's Madeline, who's 4. We're having cereal with dried berries called currants. Then we have bacon, sausage, and French toast, or an egg.
Andy, eat up, please. Jessica?
Oh, mad.
Thanks. Andy, will you eat up, please?
Mom's making our school lunches. I'm having a jam sandwich and apple, carrots, biscuits. I guess some people call them cookies. And squash. Squash is a drink Mom makes from oranges or lemons. She squeezes the juice and mixes it with sugar, pours a little bit of the mixture into bottles, adds water, and we have squash. Today, we're also having a special treat, jelly, which is the same as Jell-O. To make jelly, we dissolve fruit juice, sugar, and gelatin in hot water and let it thicken or set. Ice cubes make it thicken faster. Then we pour it into cups with lids.
Not concentrating on what you're doing, isn't it?
The cows are heading back to the pasture after they're milked. That means it's time for us to get ready to leave for school at 8:30. I help Maddie get dressed.
It's a bit short for Cece.
Yes, it's very short for Cece, isn't it?
Yes. There you are. 5 times 3 is, let's see.
When Maddie's dressed, Mom helps me practice multiplication tables.
19. Oops. 18.
18.
7 times 5 is 40. 35.
Then she gives me a flute lesson.
Okay. You're too fast again.
Okay.
Let's do this. I've got 2 notes to your one, all right? 1, 2, 3. We ended up in the same place. Well done.
While Cece gets her recorder lesson, I play with racing cars that Dad set up on the dining room table. At 8:30, Mom packs our books in the boot or trunk and drives us to school, about 15 minutes away. Here in England, the steering wheel's on the right side of the car, and we drive on the left side of the road. Trees and bushes called hedgerows grow along the road and keep the cows in, like fences. Our school has 400 students. School starts at 9. Cece's in 2nd grade, and Maddie goes to nursery school twice a week. I'm in 4th grade. There are 28 kids in my class. Today we're learning to do long division. Now I see why I need to learn to multiply. I don't think I could divide if I didn't know my multiplication tables.
6, 5, 90, isn't it? That I'm trying to divide into. So really it's 180 that I'm taking away.
Today Cece's class is taking a train trip to the beach about an hour from back. England is an island, part of the British Isles, so no place is more than 75 miles from the sea. The class has lunch in a park before they go to the beach. Mom volunteered to go on the trip, and she helps kids put on sunscreen before they go on the beach. At this beach, the water stays shallow, almost as far as you can see. It's not even deep at the end of the pier. Our school's 2nd grade class comes here every year. There are lots of things for kids to do. One of their favorite things is having ice cream before they start home. When Cece and Mom get back from the beach, they pick up Maddie and me from school for swimming lessons. Swimming's one of my favorite things. In England, everyone has to learn to swim at least 25 yards. We'll really sleep well tonight. Today's Sunday, and most Sundays, Mom cooks a big beef or pork roast like this. She can use what's left from dinner for sandwiches and soup. Mom and Dad are both good cooks. Dad's going to cook potatoes, carrots, cabbage, and onions that we've grown in our garden. Mom's pulling rhubarb to make a sauce for the meat. She uses the stem or stalk of the rhubarb for cooking. She throws the leaves in the compost pile, so they'll turn into soil in a few weeks. Now Mom's weighing flour to make a pie crust for a lemon meringue pie. Most of our food is from our farm: eggs, milk, cream, meat, and most of our vegetables. Mom freezes what we don't eat in the summer so we can use it all winter. Mom separates egg yolks from the whites to make the meringue. She adds sugar and whips air into the egg whites. When it's stiff, she pours the meringue onto the lemon filling and bakes the pie for 15 minutes. When Mom and Dad fixed up the kitchen last year, they got a new oil-fired stove. We can turn the flame down a little, but basically it's on all the time. That's good for this area, because our weather's often chilly, even in summer. And it's a nice place to play and to dry clothes. We can keep a kettle of hot water on for tea. While we wait for dinner, we play on outdoor toys that Mom and Dad sell to bring in some extra money.
I got this! Jessie, don't hurt!
This is my favorite. And this is Cece's favorite.
What kind of use? It is a stretching limo. How much you haven't got on? Yeah. Later.
We put on boots to go into the barn to visit the baby chicks. We have to be quiet because the mother cow might get upset if she thinks we might hurt her new calf.
That's down the middle. Be careful, Maddie. Have a long piece. Okay. No.
Well, do we help me?
Maddie likes to help Grandma gather eggs.
We got nearly enough.
It's the hens or girl chickens that lay the eggs. Grandma also has a boy chicken called a cockerel. Grandma thinks brown eggs are better for us than white eggs.
She'll lay a very brown egg. Those hens lay very dark brown eggs, which are lovely.
Dinner's almost ready, and Dad's sharpening a knife to cut the meat.
A bit on the top, which is suck. I like it because I use my finger instead of it.
Today, a friend of ours is visiting. The hardest part of this dinner is trying to decide whether to choose pudding or pie for dessert. After dinner, Dad cleans the kitchen while Mom helps us with our baths. The tub is in the new part of our house, which is only 200 years old. We brush our teeth at the sink in our bedroom, which is in the old part of the house. Do you remember how old it is?
Charlie nodded.
Mom and Dad read to us every night.
The shopkeeper put Charlie's change on the counter. "Take it easy," he said. "It'll give you a tummy ache if you swallow it like that without chewing."
They were at the top of the tallest tree in the forest. Below them and around them was nothing but more trees. Tommy looked up, and at last he could see the clear twilight sky.
Mom helps me say my prayers before I go to sleep. I wish I had time to tell you about Mom's pony riding, or Pirate Day at school, or Cece becoming a brownie. Or the Sunday school picnic we had in our field.
No, stop! No, I'm not exactly going to stop it, am I?
Oh well, maybe next time. Good night.
Let me tell you a story about Bath, the city where I live. Almost 2,000 years ago, Roman soldiers came here from warm, sunny Italy to rule the land. They were pretty unhappy in this cool, rainy area until one day they discovered a pool of hot water bubbling up from the ground. They built wonderful buildings around the pool, which they used for baths. And that's how Bath got its name. My name is James, and I'm 10 years old. I often wake up early, and I like to read before I get ready for school. At 7:45, we have cereal, toast, and tea for breakfast. Mom and Dad worked in the television and radio business, and that's how they met. This is my sister, Imogen. She's 9, and Clem's 5. Clem broke his arm yesterday, pretending he was a dinosaur at school. But after breakfast, he still wants to help Imogen feed Fluffy and Cuddles, our guinea pigs.
That's Imogen's and the brownies.
Before school, we have time for a game of bowls in our bedroom. The idea is to see who can roll their ball closest to the jack or target. Before we leave for school, we watch a football game that Dad recorded last night after we went to bed. We get to see if England won the game, and we did. Here's the winning goal.
Oh, and there's a goal for Paul Scholes.
I go upstairs to the loo to finish getting ready for school. At 8:30, Dad rides with us to school, which is about 10 minutes away. Clem's gonna stay home today, so his arm won't get bumped. When we get to school, we have time for a little football in the schoolyard before classes start at 9. While we're at school, Mom goes to vote. For hundreds of years, we've elected people to represent us in government. Mom says England is one of the world's oldest democracies. Today, people are choosing a new government. Then Mom shops for groceries. Sometimes we go to a supermarket, which has everything, but we often go to specialized stores. That means we go to the butcher shop for meat, the bakery for bread and dessert, the produce store for fruits and vegetables, and the post office for stamps. But we have ATMs for getting cash without going to the bank. Today, Mom's also buying candy for me to take to camp next week. Dad's working too. He makes music for TV shows in his studio in our house. Today he's writing music for an animated Bible story.
Mustn't take that road. Hey! Hey! Sir! Stop! Don't go that way! Why? It is dangerous, especially at night.
He uses computers to compose music that sounds like a whole orchestra's playing. Grandpa's a musician too. Maybe you can guess what he plays. He practices on a computer. To actually play, he has to go to a church with half a dozen other people. Last clue. He and his friends are called ringers. Did you guess that they play church bells? Huge bells hang in the church tower, and ringers pull the ropes to make the bells chime in different patterns. Handbells are smaller, but the idea is the same.
Yeah, just let the notes run on a bit longer.
Music's a big part of my life too. I take piano and clarinet lessons. And I'm in the recorder club at school. St. Andrews is a Christian school. with 185 kids. I'm in 3rd grade, and we have 27 kids in our class. Today we're reading stories we've written about the war in Bosnia.
Who's talking around? When you finish that, you need...
I can feel it coming. I can feel it in my bones, so I didn't want to believe it.
Then we work on posters warning about the dangers of using drugs. This week, Imogen's class is working on a special project with children from 2 other schools. These schools are for children with physical or learning difficulties. A group of adults came to the school to help the kids get to know each other and to work together to write a puppet show. Everyone has a job. Some kids, like Imogen, make puppets. Some write the story or script, and others make the background for the stage. It's Friday, and today they put on a show for the rest of the students and our parents.
And to create a whole story for you.
Some kids make the puppet voices. An adult softly reads a line, and a student repeats it into the microphone.
Just in the nick of time.
You've saved the day.
You saved the day.
Imogen and some other kids make the puppets move. The adult helpers even made special music for the program. This is a busy weekend. On Saturday, I go to my friend Luna's birthday party. First, we go to a park and play.
Your name is what? Tinky Bum. Hard fast. Who's that? Who's this from? Say thank you to Andy. That's it.
Then we go to her house and have a special dinner with birthday cake for dessert.
Happy birthday to me. They're relighting one second. I wouldn't put your hands in.
On Sunday, we go to church, which is in the same building as our school. We belong to the Church of England, which is the country's official church, and the Queen is its head. Mother says many people in England believe in God, but only a few go to church. English people can believe what they want to. That's because we have freedom of religion. We also have freedom of speech. That's why people from all over the world come here to live. Later in Sunday school class, we each write a prayer or wish on a balloon. I'm wishing for good weather next week because I'll be in summer camp then. We hope the wind will carry our balloons high into the sky, as if they were carrying our wishes to God. That's mine going over the school's roof. Do you think that means I'll get my wish? After church, Mom and Dad make a delicious chicken dinner with broccoli, potatoes, and gravy.
I have a little thought.
Good. Somebody's been cutting that up for you, have they? Good.
Then Clem and Imogen help Mom bake buns.
So over to you.
All the families in our church are making desserts for a street fair this afternoon. We serve the desserts we've made to people who come to the fair. Here, people pretend the streets of Fantasyland with all kinds of fun and surprising things. Before I get ready for bed, I feed Lolly, my pet mouse. I wait for Lolly to finish his dinner. Then it's time for bed. Good night.